What if a tree falls in the woods when going Galt means nobody gives a fuck but you? Ah, the phrase going Galt. We've all heard it. It's often the rallying cry in the manosphere today, particularly among the MGTOW and the / gray-skinned anemic old men grumbling about some imagined cultural Marxism and sipping from a vintage bottle of sour grapes and bitter regret of how they got taken by some mean old girl who was out of their league and walking away with their wallets. For the proper definition of going Galt, according to the Rational Wiki, goes a little something like this. Going Galt is a catchphrase used by right-wing bloggers to describe a fantasy response to changes in American tax policy proposed by President Barack Obama. The idea is that having to pay 4.9% more in taxes or income above $250,000 per year constitutes such an intolerable burden that affected people should deliberately cut back on their business to lower their income to $249,999 per year, which is indicative of how little they understand the American tax bracket system, or flee the U.S. altogether. Also, it is largely promoted by idiots who can't do math, or by scaremongers trying to take advantage of idiots who can't do math, or can't be bothered to. In short, and in social context, going Galt is about divesting from an imagined forced social collectivism and going your own way, the way John Galt did in Ayn Rand's disaster of a novel, Atlas Shrugged, where a form of reversed class war happens, where a society's engineers and captains of industry decide to go on strike. Now, what's ironic about all that is that these bottom feeders on the right are anywhere close to being useful hands for the rest of society. For instance, I think some of these alt-right trolls of social media who are sycophants of Trump are far from being captains of industry, workers in the said industry, or even productive fucking human beings. Anyway, really, the manosphere's posturing of threatening to leave the rest of us as if we should care is one of my favorite parts of them that keep me entertained. Like, there's dudes out there 10 years in to running a channel about going their own way and separating from women, but all they want to do is talk about women. Talk about a hobby or travel. Are you teaching yourself Klingon? No? Then shut the fuck up. And the coon faction of the manosphere, the coonosphere, man oh man, if the disaffected white males, the dreggies, full of their sociopathic hate, backs all hunched over the keyboard, won't be missed at all, let's talk about their black counterparts. All right, skillsless, that's not a real word, I just made it up. Talentless, soulless bootlickers with absolutely nothing to offer, not only to their families, loved ones, or their communities at large, but society as a whole. Their bubble of delusion, propulsed by a steady flatulent stream of neocolonial diesel, shields them from the truth that they are not the opposites of T-Dog or Brick Boy down on the corner, but they are failed T-Dogs, Brick Boys, and they had no other choice but to stay their asses in the fucking house and make videos proclaiming to never be the so-called cleanup men of the black community. Rejecting self-improvement or the same accountability that they demand of black women, they stand proud in their ineptitude. And that's okay, because why should they self-improve? After all, you can't shine shit. And lastly about these coons is they won't go Galt because they can't even travel past their 10-block radius, much less move to some right libertarian dystopia that would quickly turn these lowlives into the new class of chattel slaves. The point here is that the world can and will live without these dudes, and I would give my left arm to prove it. So go Galt, go fuck yourself. Until next time, netizens, this is the Black White Knight, and I am not the garage autonomist.